Hello, this is Apex Predator. This is what if Deku was transported to Demon Slayer. In the previous video, they ended their training and have cut their rock in half. Okay, now I will most probably in this video explain a little more about dimension breathing, as it is an interesting concept to their master. So, they finished their training. They have cut the rock, and they have headed down to meet up with their master and Nezuko, who is awake. Good thing. And so they head down. They are walking, and it is obviously as wait, no, Nezuko is not awake yet. She's still asleep. Okay, so they head back and they meet up with their master, and it's like, how did the training go? Geez, I know you said my name instead of Deku. So, Izuku states that it was eventful, and Tanjiro states that it went well and we have officially cut the rock. He states with a smile on his face, and their master says, "You guys have long hair. It should be a good idea to cut that, you know? Get rid of the excess hair that you don't necessarily need to have on your head." So, Deku and Tanjiro cut their hair as they are talking to I'm just gonna find out what his name, honestly. Okay, so Sakanji? Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Sakanji. Okay. So, Sakanji says that the next step on your road to your journey is to go to the final selections, where you will have to fight demons in order to be accepted into the Demon Slayer Corps, or army, whatever they want to call it. And they think about this, they look at each other, and they nod to each other. And they say, "We can do this." And the next day they head off on their journey, saying bye to a sleeping Nezuko as they walk off to the final selections. We cut to them in this environment, as you can see in the picture. So Tanjiro is wearing the normal thing. This is what Deku's going to wear. So it's just a pure green with a white sheath for his sword. And I'll tell you the color of his blade when he actually gets his proper Demon Slayer blade. So, they are standing there with the other Demon Slayer candidates, and the people there, the two little children looking people, explain what is going to be happening and what are they going to do. I'm pretty sure it was 24 hours they had to survive. Yeah, 24 hours. So they begin, and Deku and Tanjiro just run off on their own, like together on their own type thing. Deku is a lot more observant with his eyes than his smell, so a lot of things could deceive any normal person when they're using their eyes, but not him. For he has mastered sight. I'm just saying this, just trying to make him a little better. So basically, you can see through deception, you can see through lies. So his eyes are very wise and good, while Tanjiro's smell is amazing. So they go as Tanjiro goes as normal, and they finally see the giant handy arm demon that keeps killing Sakanji's students and children of the water breathing technique. So they start battling it out. Like, he's throwing smaller hands and trying to grab them. They're just cutting the hands off and defending themselves. And Deku, this is when he finally brings out one of his dimension breathing techniques. So I have compiled a list that I will show you just now. I have made this list, and I will, for right now, it's just going to be a few of them that I'm going to use. But yeah, we'll get into that as we go. Well, so he's facing off the hand and arm demon, the one that kills Sakanji's disciples or students. So he dodges another slightly bigger arm that has been flung toward him by the demon. Deku uses dimension shift to shift his way through this dimension, and right next to Tanjiro. Basically, dimension shift is teleportation. Yeah, legit. And then he tells him, I'm going to use Shadow Collapse. I need you to use whatever he used to actually cut his head off. I'm not too sure. But yeah, so he uses Shadow Collapse, which is basically shadow dimension type stuff. So he goes up to him and he slashes his shadow. His shadow bursts open with darkness and completely consumes Deku. Deku then starts slicing him through his shadow, making giant slashes of darkness and shadows to slice off arms, trying to either attack a non-existent Deku and a Tanjiro trying to slice his head off. He goes past him a few times. He does his water wheel and slides back, figuring out the next part of his plan to attack. So he finally gets tired of Tanjiro's waiting, and the demon tries to throw out 5 giant arms that are instantly cut off as he grows them from Deku. His time in the Shadow Dimension has ended, and he flies out, flying towards Tanjiro. He stops himself and slides back. He decides to use altered timeline, which is basically a timeline where, well, not a timeline, an attack that if it hits, let's just say it hits one of the arms, like just a small cut, it will completely slash the entire arm off, like a proper cut, and cuts giant slashes throughout the entire body of the demon that he is cutting. Basically, it brings out timelines of where the different places that he could have cut and slashed upon him. And then he uses dimension shift to get out of there before he activates his next attack. Tanjiro sees his moment, that little string, that little line of where he should cut, and he runs up and he slashes the demon's head off, killing him. Well, technically killing him, but then the sentimental moment of the demon dying and Tanjiro consoling a dying demon. And Deku thought it was quite odd that he's so kind even after all the horrific things that the demon has said to him and about what he had done. So he goes up, puts his hand on Tanjiro's shoulder, and consoles the demon as well. Once the demon has completely disappeared, they get up and they start running around killing more demons. The 24 hours had ended, and Deku and Tanjiro are at the entrance place, or the final place where they all met up. Same people there, but with the addition of Deku. So they are now all accepted as demon slayers. So they head home, with Tanjiro having the same changed the scar on his forehead to that weird mark that supposedly gives you more power in exchange for your lifespan, apparently. I'm not too sure about all of that, but yeah, that's what happened. So they start heading home. They start heading to Sakanji. And along the way, they feel the presence of all of the dead students. Tell them thank you for releasing us to a happy ending or something. Just thanking them that they had put the demon to rest. As they are now at rest completely. They can now finally have the freedom of not caring about any of the demon that killed them. So they take a moment in silence and they carry on. They finally get over that small hill to where it is night, and she's awake. Nezuko is awake, walking up to them with slight tears in her eyes, and runs up to Tanjiro and hugs him. He gladly accepts and hugs back. Then Deku patted him on the back and gave a small kiss to Nezuko's forehead, and I'm glad you're okay. And he walks to Sakanji's little hut, and he says hello and introduces, well, not introduce, but tells him that Deku and Tanjiro have passed, and it's an honor to be a demon slayer. Sakanji smiles behind his mask, and Tanjiro and Nezuko finally get back in, and they get a proper box. The wooden box that you see Tanjiro carrying with Nezuko inside. But, yeah, well, not but. So, they get ready to leave. Deku is wearing this, and Tanjiro is wearing his normal steel feel. I don't know, whatever that term is. But yes. And now the whatchamacallit, the bladesmith, the demon slayer bladesmith, comes to the house, to the little shack house, you could say, and delivers 2 swords. Tanjiro takes his sword and it turns black. He asked what the color is for, and he said usually it's a bad omen, but there's not too many to say that for sure. And then Deku picks up his sword, and it turns black as well, but it has white specks all over it, basically symbolizing the light behind what he has to do. Basically, he's killing demons to save people. The symbolization of the white specks is to save people, and the symbolization to the black is that he has to kill. And I'm not saying that in Demon Slayer that's actually a thing, but it's a what if, and I'm just saying that's what they symbolize it as. And Tanjiro's completely black sword symbolizes either a bad omen or the darkness that he has to commit to, the killing of demons, but consoling demons that did not want to become demons itself, a demon themselves, that were just broken in their life and society, that they couldn't do anything to stop themselves from becoming demons. So the pure black sword is a symbolization of him consoling demons themselves, killing and consoling the enemy. And Deku thinks of these analogies, or whatever you want to call them, the symbolizations, and he takes that to heart. So does Tanjiro, because he's the one that was consoling a dying demon. The sad lives of those who had become demons. So they get up, they get Nezuko into the box, and they walk off. And okay, so as they disembark on their first mission, the crow comes up to them and gives them their first mission, as in the anime. So they start traveling, and they finally get into a town and meet this boy that was going to be married to I'm not sure who, but was going to be married, but his fiance was taken and killed by a demon, eaten by a demon. And then he does a little more investigating, and once night comes along, Deku feels a different presence as he's looking around. And they're in the same street as usual. And instead of what happened in the anime, the boy was with the two demon slayers as they were figuring everything out. Deku mostly comforting him, telling him that it'll be okay. We're demon slayers. Him trying to calm him down, even though he just became a demon slayer himself. But then Tanjiro is attacked by the swamp demon, going through the floor and walls attacking him as Deku knocks on the little door of the little wooden door and says, "Nezuko, wake up, we need your help a little bit, okay?" And she wakes up from a small nap and comes out. It's like, "Can you protect that boy over there? We need to take care of this demon." Him thinking on his toes, you know. Analysis, boy. But yes, Deku then expresses his relief as, yeah, don't look, no. Okay, yeah, I can look at this. Okay. So Deku thinks of what he should use. So he uses his dimension breathing 10th form, Dimension Accelerator, which basically pulls him into basically in the same space but into a different type of dimension where everything is slowed down and he's accelerated. And so he walks around and tries to figure things out as he's inspecting the inside of the demon's portal, as it is all swampy water-like substance inside of there, and he sees all of the different things inside of there. He brings his head out of the portal, and as the dimension accelerator wears off, he uses demon flesh divider and slashes the demon's head off, killing him as he falls back into the portal and the portal closes. As Tanjiro thinks, whoa, how did you get there? Tanjiro being confused because he was right behind him. Deku expressing, it's my 10th form, Dimension Accelerator. Basically, everything slows down and I can think, and operate and function in an accelerated form in a different type of dimension. It's currently a really weird thing to me. So let's just carry on. Plus, there's 2 more. The other 2 thinking as one of the 2 comes up and tries to attack Tanjiro, him slicing off a finger as the demon dodges and goes back into the portal, them thinking, darn it, they got him. I'm not sure the names of the demons, but the trio swamp demon, they got one of us, darn it. One of them is really powerful. I wonder how we're gonna do this. So they both pop out, each attacking both of them attacking Nezuko and the greatly depressed man that has lost his fiancée. She kicks the one in the face, sending him out of his own portal, and him landing on the actual surface, and him making another portal so he can go back into it. Because they're scared. They saw a man teleport right in front of one of their brethren with his sword unsheathed and their friend's head cut off. So they trying to think of tactics to do, and Deku gets a little annoyed by this, and he uses Dimension Accelerator once more. As one of the demons was coming out, he jumps into the portal and uses Dimension Flow. Basically, it's like the one where you don't have to have a stable foot stance and positioning to use. The one Tanjiro used in the inside the portal himself. As when he got in, Tanjiro jumped into the portal as well, both being trapped inside with two demons. So, Deku uses dimension flow, which makes a current of destructive dimension particles that it's basically like if you touch it, it will like slice apart and rip apart your arm, like parts of it was being taken out and sent somewhere else type thing, which is basically what's going on. And yeah, so he uses dimension flow and slices the demon, killing him. Him going down while Tanjiro deals with the other demon, with the same one he used, and Tanjiro in this comes up and out of the portal, trying to think of ways to keep the portal open as it is slowly closing because of the dead demons. Deku finally arrives and comes out, and he has I forgot what it was that Tanjiro grabbed, but yeah, I think it was a name tag, or I don't know, kimono, piece of fabric. Yeah, it was a piece of fabric. He brings up the piece of fabric, and that whole thing happens. And then they continue with their journey. Yeah, sorry, not that they don't carry on, but what Deku does is he uses his 11th form, reverse dimension flow, as he attacks the disintegrating demon's body, as he reverts back to being alive. And he's confused as to why is he alive? I thought I died. Deku then expressed that I brought you back using one of my dimension breathing forms. Now, tell us a bit more information. And him being scared that they have dealt with his two other brethren, he gives up a bunch of information of different things. And he said, is that all? Him being scared that he will give him a gruesome death if he doesn't give him as much information as he has. And he gives out the information of Asakusa, I think it was. Basically where Muzan would be. And that's when that whole adventure would be coming up. So Deku then uses Heaven's Gate, which is basically a sword technique that basically he does a few air slashes. He brings his blade behind him, slashing it down and to his side, slashing up, cutting the demon in half. As in the symbolization of Heaven's Gate, his soul is brought up to heaven and not hell like most demons. And that's basically the power of Heaven's Gate. He can kill you with it, but it depends on which one he uses, Heaven's Gate or Hell's Rift. Either way, you're going to hell. If you kill a demon, they're going to hell. If you use Heaven's Rift, they go to a deeper and darker hell that not even the worst kinds of people go to, type thing. So basically, Hell's Rift is teleporting someone to a place darker and more gruesome than hell itself. And Heaven's Gate's just bringing up the soul of the demon or the previous human that used to be there. And that's how that goes. And then they embark on the next mission as Nezuko gets back into her little box, and Tanjiro and Deku head off to Asakusa, I think it was? Yeah. So Deku and Tanjiro are walking together as Tanjiro smells something, the scent that he would have never thought he would ever smell again. The one smell that would make his blood boil, the only smell that would make his hatred for demons writhe in a fury of 1,000 suns. He smelt the scent of Muzan. Deku, knowing what his face is telling him, because, yeah, I already told you this, he can see the emotion and intentions and thought process just by looking at someone's face. So he knows what's going on, and he says, let's go. If he's here, there must be some trouble around here. Let's make sure nothing bad happens. They both nod, and they start moving around in the crowd. Deku looking at the person with the fedora, the white fedora that Muzan is wearing, and he sees the presence of a killer. He feels and sees the presence of Muzan. As they confront him, Deku stops Tanjiro from grabbing his shoulder. Ugh, can't speak. And instead, he uses dimension accelerator, so he can go in front and see everything that is happening around him. And he sees a child and a wife. And he goes back to his position, and the acceleration fades away as Tanjiro sees the devastated look on Deku's face as it can't be. It just can't. Muzan, slightly noticing the figure that had, in an accelerated form, looked around him and at him. Him slightly looking back to a horrified look on Deku's face, and then he brings his eyes upon the earrings that Tanjiro was wearing. And that is why they got attacked in the future of this video. But as Canon Muzan does, he sends his child and wife away, kills a person, kills a woman in an alley, snaps his fingers, and 2 demons come out, and they're introduced to the story. So they are sent to kill Deku and Tanjiro. Deku and Tanjiro later meeting the two, and them being introduced to Tamayo and Yushiro, or something along those lines. But yeah, the good demon and the good demon's assistant. And they have the normal conversation with the addition of Deku, him giving a little more insight on what the swamp demon told them, and Nezuko being a little cute bean, just like moving around and playing around in the background, as Deku has a slight fondness of little cute beans. So, to be honest, it feels like Tanjiro is his brother and Nezuko is his little daughter. That type thing. Because I have to bring an airy type figure to Demon Slayer, honestly. So, basically, he's like a father figure to Nezuko. He's very protective of Nezuko. So they carry on talking and doing things, and then they are attacked. Balls bouncing around the place, and the demon assistant's head is blown off. Nezuko gets into a fighting stance as she is protecting the two other demons. Them destroying the balls that are bouncing around. So Deku then pulls out Death Zone Carnage as he jumps out from the door and attacks with a flurry of 1,000 slashes towards each demon, them being unable to move because of the dome type area that they have been trapped in, thanks to Death Zone Carnage, which brings out a field or a dome of energy that sucks out basically the energy to flex or use your muscles, basically making the two demons stuck in place as they cannot move, as them being cut up. But for plot reasons, they do not die, but they are mortally injured. The Death Zone is a very powerful attack, but Deku has not completely and fully mastered it. So the Death Zone Carnage only lasts for about 5 seconds. Basically, it transfers their energy to him to give him power to destroy his enemies. The stronger his enemies, the stronger slashes he will be able to bring out. Sorry. But anyway, the two demons back away as they just heal and regrow limbs, as they are very out of breath, because it feels like each slash was a fatal blow, a blow that would kill them. But thanks to the inexperience and the lack of practice of this move, they weren't deadly enough to kill these two demons. As he acknowledges that, he thinks to himself, I must get stronger. As he uses Demon Flesh Divider and slashes and does a horizontal slash, not cutting through, like the blade goes through the ball, but a large white essence of a slash goes and makes a giant slash through both of the demons, as they are again mortally injured. As they use more of their energy to heal themselves, they are very low in power. So Tanjiro finally comes out after making sure that the three demons are okay. Nezuko not getting her time to shine, unfortunately, for she's now just a little bit of a background character, you could say, but she's still a cute little bean. She's like an older, like, if Eri was older, like older Eri but cuter, okay? Cute bean, older Eri, technically. If you know what I'm saying, you're good. So, he has the little tag on his forehead to see the arrows, and Deku walks up to the demons and said, what's that on his forehead? And he explains in small detail and gives one to him, as he can now see the little arrows everywhere. And then he runs out and he uses the 7th form, Dimension Chaos, which he uses and he slashes down, and 7 dark slashes come out and slash into the 6-armed demon, as she is brought into each cut was basically another a different breathing technique from each of the breathing techniques. Like basically just stone, wind, thunder, fire, water, forgot what the other ones were. I'm just gonna say sun and whatchamacallit, the flower one. Yeah, the flower. So that happens, and basically she's just killed instantly, and Tanjiro does his the same thing as in canon and slices his head off, as the one with the 6-armed demon didn't say Muzan, but Deku, not needing that information, already knowing that it was Muzan, because he saw him. I'm sorry, but Sun's dimension will be used in the future. Okay. I feel like once you see this video, you're just gonna be like, yeah, something is definitely going on with that. Like, that's going to be one of the most OP ones, as well as Dimension Slash. Dimension Slash. Wait, so I've used Alter Timeline, Dimension Shift, Heaven's Gate, Dimension Chaos, Shadow Collapse, Dimension Flow, Dimension Accelerator, Reverse Dimension Flow, Demon Flesh Divider, Death Zone Carnage. Okay, so I just need to use 3 more of the attacks. Then I've used every single one of them. But anyway, so that adventure comes to an end. And I hope you guys are excited for the next episode, well, the next part of What If Deku was transported to Demon Slayer. I'm sorry if this has been a kind of an awkward thing. I'm doing this like in the morning, which is unusual because I usually do this at night. So, thank you for listening and have a wonderful day, every single one of you. And bye.